The Fall Guy is the new action comedy from David Leitch. The logline is as follows. A down-and-out stuntman must find the missing star of his ex-girlfriend's blockbuster film. It's loosely based off the 1980s TV series of the same name and stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emily Blunt, and literally me. This movie was a lot of fun. As a movie buff, I always like seeing movies that share the same appreciation for the art that I do. And The Fall Guy pays tribute to all the great action films that came before it. One of the goals of this movie is to shine a spotlight on the unsung heroes of the film industry that too often go underappreciated: the stunt crew. Now, I've never worked on a stunt crew before, but I felt like this movie did a great job at representing the stunt work and behind-the-scenes action. There's even behind-the-scenes footage rolling during the credits, which showed all the actual stunts that were performed for this movie, which was really cool to see. I really hope that this movie gets the ball rolling on a stunt category being added to the Oscars. I've seen a lot of people campaigning for this, and it's way overdue as these creatives deserve to be recognized for their work. The action in this movie is solid, but the highlight for me was definitely a fight scene that happens on a garbage truck that you see a bit of in the trailer. The staging of this scene is great, and it does some pretty inventive stuff. The hand-to-hand combat scenes in this movie were also fantastic, and they do a great job at infusing comedy into the action without compromising the stakes. Ryan Gosling does a fantastic job as always, and he gets to show more of his comedic chops that we saw him use in Barbie. I seriously think he is one of the greatest comedic actors working today. He had great chemistry with Emily Blunt, and they sold the romance of this film, even when some of the writing was pretty poor, which leads into some of my criticisms. The only gripes that I have for this movie is that the writing and the plot can be a little flimsy at parts. There's some pretty cliche dialogue in here, especially centering around the romance between our main leads. The plot also gets a little convoluted towards the end, but it isn't so bad that it ruins the movie. Also, the action in the third act is probably the weakest, which was a bit of a letdown since everything else leading up to it was so strong. Overall, The Fall Guy is a great movie that sheds some light on a part of the filmmaking process people often forget about. It's filled with great action, funny performances, and just the right amount of cheesiness. The Fall Guy feels like the movie Argyle thought it was. Go out and see this movie because it feels like movies like this are uncommon nowadays. I know that sounds like I'm an old man yelling at the clouds, but it's true. We need more movies like this one. I rate it a solid 4 stars. This has been Tom from Eisenhower Productions, and thank you so much for watching. See you next week.